My name is Annabelle Wood, and this is my AP research presentation on parenting styles in the show Gilmore Girls. So first, I want to get into the background on parenting styles, who exactly came up with them, and what they are exactly. So the developmental psychologist Diana Baumrind was the first person who to come up with the idea of parenting styles. She specialized in human development and family socialization. She did most of her research at the Institute of Human Development. She came up with 3 parenting styles, which are authoritarian, authoritative, and permissive. Psychologists Eleanor McColby and John Martin did some more research to build off of Baumrind's discoveries. They used the idea of each parenting style being a combination of some level of demandingness and some level of responsiveness to officially come up with the 4th parenting style, which is neglectful, making their 4 official parenting styles. So these are the 4 parenting styles in regards to the combinations of demandingness and responsiveness that McColby and Martin came up with. So we have authoritarian, which is high in demandingness and low in responsiveness. So this kind of parent might set high standards for the kids, give harsh punishments, and not care if their kid wants to hang out with their friends or anything like that. Next we have neglectful, which is low in demandingness and low in responsiveness. This kind of parent won't care if their kid is crying right in front of them. And then we have authoritative, which is high in demandingness and high in responsiveness. This parent is supportive, understanding, will listen to their kid, but is not afraid to set some firm limits to their kid. And then next we have permissive, which is low in demandingness and high in responsiveness. This kind of parent won't say no to their kid. They'll let them do whatever they want, which makes the kid think they can do anything, even if it's not in their own home. So now let's get into the background of the show Gilmore Girls. So Gilmore Girls was created by Amy Sherman Palladino and was on air for 7 years and therefore has 7 seasons. It's a feel-good TV show that follows the life of single mom Lorelai Gilmore and her daughter Rory Gilmore. The New York Times calls it an endless buffet of TV comfort food. It has the small-town feel that everyone loves. It's a realistic fiction drama series, so it's something anyone can relate to. So to connect parenting styles to the show Gilmore Girls, the 4 parenting styles are clearly shown through various characters throughout the show. Which brings me to my research question. Are the parenting styles shown in Gilmore Girls accurate? Are the things that are being shown true to the definitions of parenting styles given by psychologists? So there are endless articles online stating opinions of the show as well as informal writing pieces, which created my gap. There are no true factual connections between what psychologists have to say about parenting styles and what's going on in the show. There are things that these are things that can't really be trusted when it comes to doing research on this kind of topic. So I decided to watch the show for myself and use content analysis as my research method and compare what I was seeing to the definitions given by psychologists. So the purpose and implications of this research is that it can be used in psychology classes, as parenting styles is something that comes up in psychology. It can lead to further research on other shows and really tell if they're accurate enough, and people really know what they're watching. So as I was watching the show, I took some notes, and these are a sample of the notes. So I took note of the season/episode that I was watching, the type of parent and how I knew it was that kind of parenting, what came with that parenting, more specifically how the child reacted to their parent being that kind of way, if they showed signs of depression, if they rebelled against their parent, and how accurate it was based off of the definition given by psychologists. So there are a few parents in the show that represent each parenting style, but I chose these 4 because I believe they're some of the most prominent. I have Christopher Hayden, whose daughter is Gigi, representing permissive parenting because he was unable to say no to his daughter. In one particular episode, he allowed Lorelai Gilmore to babysit his daughter, and she just caused chaos throughout the house. She was drawing on the floor, and every time Lorelai tried to say no to her, she would start screaming and throwing a fit. And then I have Lorelai Gilmore representing authoritative. Her daughter is Rory Gilmore. They have They clearly have an amazing relationship with each other. They're very trusting. They're very open with each other. But Lorelai is not afraid to say no to her daughter and tell her when she's doing something wrong. We have Mrs. Geller representing neglectful parenting. She's not in much of the show, but her daughter Paris is. Mrs. Geller never showed up to her daughter's graduation, and in one episode they had a parents' day at school where all the parents came in. Mrs. Geller stayed for about 5 minutes and left, even though her daughter wanted her to stay and see all of her classes and all her classmates and everything. And finally, we have Emily Gilmore for authoritarian. Her daughter is Lorelai. She just sets super high standards for Lorelai and is never warm to her. She is usually cold to her daughter and harshly criticizes her life choices. So I will see how accurate each parenting style is being shown by this sort of scale. I have 3 of the most common characteristics for the parent and the child. I decided to include the child because each parenting style has an effect on the child and they should act a certain way depending on the kind of parent they have. So if it's color green, it means that something that is being shown. The red means it is not something that is being shown and therefore is inaccurate. As you can see, for some things there are mixed results, and for some things it is clear if it is accurate or not. And of course, I use my notes to help me decide. Everything about authoritative is accurate because Lorelai is both nurturing and supportive to Rory while still letting her know what's wrong. Rory is someone who is happy for a majority of the show and becomes a student at Yale University and is confident and does positive things in her life. Rory trusts Lorelai and it's clear because she tells her almost everything. Neglectful parenting is accurate for the parent because Mrs. Geller is unresponsive to her daughter's needs and never shows up for anything, not even her high school graduation. It's not as accurate for the child because Paris is someone who is very outgoing and confident. She does, however, have a nanny to act as a mother figure, which is why it is green for the child as a role model to replace their parent. Authoritarian is accurate for the parent because Emily Gilmore has high standards for her child, lacks warmth most of the time, and as when Lorelai was a child, it is known that Emily made a lot of decisions for her growing up. It's inaccurate for the child because Lorelai is someone who is very outgoing and confident. She has very good social skills. And finally, permissive is 100% accurate because Christopher Hayden does not set limits for his kid. He gets angry when Lorelai brings it up to him. He can't say no, and his child is impulsive, destroys the house, and screams when she's told no. So I just did some simple calculations out of 3 from each category. So these are percentages showing how accurate the parent is and how accurate the child is for each parenting style. Authoritative and permissive are 100% accurate for both parent and child. Neglectful is 100% accurate for the parent, and 33%. And neglectful is 33% accurate for the child. Authoritarian is 100% accurate for the parent and 0 for the child. And these are the combined percentages for the child and the parent, showing how accurate each one is overall. We have authoritative at 100, neglectful at 67, authoritarian at 50, and permissive at 100. So I can conclude that this show is 100% accurate when it comes to showing authoritarian parenting and permissive parenting, meaning that this is something that can be used to show students a real-life example of those 2 kinds of parenting. If someone decides to make an in-depth description of the show, this is something that they can add to it. So there were some limitations to my research and method, however. So no 2 people parent the same, even if they have the same parenting style. The method of content analysis can be time-consuming since the show is 7 seasons long, with each episode being almost an hour. And things in shows can be exaggerated for entertainment purposes and to make the watcher feel a certain way. It is just acting in the show. And finally, there was a lack of context since I don't have background on every single character and I don't know what's going on in each of the characters. So looking back on my research, I believe it has helped me with my note-taking skills and observational skills. It helped me with my note-taking skills because at first I was just writing random things down with no format or plan really. And then finally I did put it into the chart like we saw before and learned how to organize it. It also taught me new perspective on TV shows, since my results did show that not everything we see is accurate. And that's it.
Somebody can read mine.
You sure?
Yeah.
So which of the various perspectives you explored was the most difficult for you to incorporate into your research inquiry, and why?
So the most difficult perspective for me to incorporate was obviously the opinions on what was being shown in Gilmore Girls, because everything you see online is mostly opinion. And since I watched the show, I feel different ways about certain characters, because people think that Emily Gilmore is a good parent, Lorelai Gilmore is a bad parent. So I kind of had to overlook that and make my own conclusion.
After you chose your research question, your project goal, which information guided your choice of research method, creative process?
So the information that guided me to choose my method was probably also the opinions, because seeing everything that was going on and then also reading the factual articles on what each parenting style was, that's when I kind of decided that I needed to watch it for myself and compare it to the definitions with my own ideas in mind.
Thank you.
If you had 3 more weeks to work on this research question, what additional research strategies would you put into practice?
I would probably have some people watch the episodes and conduct a surveying kind of way to see if they think what they're watching is accurate, and if they think that's actually what would happen in real life. And this would probably just give me just more information about what other people think, and if I can add that to how accurate I saw everything was.
Okay. We have some other questions.
I have a question. Nice job. Flipping your perspective as being a child to the research that you've done, do you find one particular parenting style that resonates with you most, or that you could see yourself possibly following in the future?
I would say authoritative, because it's just something they're so warm to their child. Their child trusts them, which I think is super important. You obviously don't want your kid keeping secrets from you, and you want them to trust you. But also they're able to set limits with their kid. They're able to say, come home at 11 instead of midnight, and their child respects them because their child gets respect, so everything's earned. So I found that sense.
Thank you.
Any other questions from that? Any questions from the audience? No? All right. Thank you